Welcome to my YouTube channel. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share.
Welcome to our ALE review notes on history and theory of architecture. This video will present the 6 recipients of the prestigious National Artist Award for Architecture, namely Juan Nakpil, Pablo Antonio, Leandro Locsin, Ildefonso Santos Jr, Jose Maria Zaragoza, and Francisco Mañosa.
What is the National Artist or Architecture Award? The Order of National Artists of the Philippines, Orden ng Pambansang Alagad ng Sining, is the country's most prestigious honor for Filipino artists who have made outstanding contributions in shaping the nation's cultural heritage across 8 art categories, including architecture.
It was established by Proclamation Number 1001 on April 27, 1972, and elevated to order status in 2003. This is jointly administered by the National Commission for Culture and the Arts, NCCA, and the Cultural Center of the Philippines, CCP, and the title is officially conferred by the President.
The first Filipino architect to receive the National Artist Award for Architecture was Juan F. Nakpil. Juan Nakpil was bestowed the honor in 1973. Nakpil helped shape the identity of modern Philippine architecture by harmonizing traditional Filipino motifs with modernist principles, believing that there is such a thing as Philippine architecture. He integrated nationalistic ideals into built form, especially in public and institutional buildings.
One of his most famous works is the Jeronimo de los Reyes building. Nakpil incorporated subtle native design inspirations, giving the structure cultural depth beyond its international style. He also designed the old SSS building and the Philippine Trust Company, Philtrust Bank, building. Another iconic work is the Capitan Pepe building. The design was an application of modernist principles with streamlined Art Deco elements, reflecting Nakpil's vision of combining functionality with Filipino identity in commercial architecture during the pre-war era. The Manila Jockey Club was a pre-war structure that reflects streamlined Art Deco design fused with Filipino elegance, symbolizing the modernization of leisure and sports architecture in the Philippines. The Rufino building exemplifies the international style or modernist aesthetic, which emphasized clean lines, minimal ornamentation, and use of modern materials like glass, concrete, and steel. The Philippine Village Hotel was designed in the international style. The hotel incorporated Filipino motifs and spatial arrangements, such as wide eaves and open-air lobbies, use of local materials, kapis, hardwoods, stone, and integration of tropical design strategies, like cross-ventilation and shading, to suit the local climate. For the design of the University of the Philippines Administration and University Library, he merged modernism with monumental neoclassical forms with use of symmetry, clean volumes, and austere facades. Grand, colonnaded porticos echoing civic architecture and emphasizing institutional dignity. For the Capitol Theater, he blended Western Art Deco geometry with Filipino elements, such as reliefs of Filipina muses in Traje de Mestiza by Francesco Monti, Italian sculptor. He adapted the theater to suit local climate with natural ventilation, use of concrete brisoli, and open lobby spaces. This foreshadowed the rise of tropical modernist design in later decades. A striking example of mid-century modernism, the Rizal Theater used reinforced concrete construction, clean lines, open spaces, and an elegant facade with minimal ornamentation. It reflects Nakpil's embrace of international style with a Filipino sensibility. The Quiapo Church was rebuilt and enlarged in 1930, adding a dome and a second belfry to the original design. It is a harmonious integration of modern reinforced concrete technology with Baroque revival elements. The reconstructed Rizal House in Calamba, Laguna in 1950 stood out as a pioneering effort in architectural heritage conservation and faithfully reflects the Bahay na Bato tradition using historical methods.
Nakpil is also credited with the design of the UP Carilian, San Carlos Seminary, Alonso Hall of the UP College of Home Economics, the UP College of Music, Gala Rodriguez Ancestral House, and the Magsaysay Building.
Some of his famous dictums are as follows. Architecture must be a reflection of the spirit and culture of the people. We should evolve our own architecture, not merely borrow from others. A building is not just a structure, but a symbol of what we are and what we can be. Architecture is not merely for shelter, it must inspire, uplift, and serve the people. Modern architecture should not reject the past, but build upon it.
The second recipient of the National Artist Award for Architecture is Pablo S. Antonio.
He was awarded in 1976. Pablo S. Antonio pioneered modern Philippine architecture. He introduced streamlined, functional, and clean designs, influenced by the Art Deco and International style, which moved away from ornate colonial styles.
One of his famous works is the Far Eastern University Administration and Science buildings. Designed in the Art Deco style, they showcase clean lines, geometric forms, and minimalist ornamentation, breaking away from the neoclassical and colonial revival styles common at the time. The design adapted modernist principles to the tropical climate. The Manila Polo Club is a landmark of early tropical modernism in the Philippines, showcasing climate-adaptive design, minimalist elegance, and integration with the landscape. Ideal Theater, Life Theater, Scala Theater, Lyric Theater, and Galaxy Theater. These theaters collectively represent Pablo Antonio's role in transforming Philippine entertainment architecture through Art Deco and early modernist styles, adapted to the local context. The Capitan Luis Gonzaga building is a refined example of early tropical modernism in commercial architecture, featuring clean lines, passive cooling strategies, and a functional layout that responded to Manila's climate and urban context, marking a shift from colonial to modern design in mid-20th century Philippines. For the Boulevard Alhambra now Bel Air apartments, he introduced modernist principles in urban housing, promoting efficient planning, natural ventilation, and functional aesthetics for tropical living. For the Ramon Roses Publications building, now Guzman Institute of Electronics, he introduced streamlined modernist design in commercial industrial architecture, using simple forms, horizontal lines, and climate-adaptive features.
His most famous quotations are the following. "A truly great work of architecture must express harmony, simplicity, organic beauty, natural integrity, and beauty. For our Father, every line must have meaning, purpose. For him, function comes first before elegance or form. Buildings should be planned with austerity in mind and its stability forever as the aim of true architecture, that buildings must be progressive, simple in design but dignified, true to a purpose without resorting to an applied set of aesthetics, and should eternally recreate truth."
The third recipient of the National Artist Award for Architecture is Leandro V. Locsin.
He was awarded in 1990. Leandro Valencia Locsin Sr. was known for his bold use of concrete, creating monumental, floating, and sculptural forms. He interpreted brutalist and international-style architecture with grace and sensitivity to Filipino space and light. A recurring theme in his designs, the concept of floating volumes, adds a sense of lightness and dynamism to his buildings.
Cultural Center of the Philippines CCP Main Theater Tanghalang Pambansa is a national symbol of Filipino arts and culture. Its monumental form and cantilevered structure represent Locsin's modernist interpretation of Filipino identity. The large floating slab roof evokes Bahay Kubo silhouette in abstract form. The marble facade of the building is cantilevered 12 meters, 39 feet, from the terrace by huge arching columns at the sides of the building. The Church of the Holy Sacrifice in UP Diliman is a national historical landmark, first circular church with thin-shell concrete dome in the Philippines. It is a collaborative work with other national artists like Arturo Luz, Napoleon Abueva, and Vicente Manansala. Design reflects spatial openness and community-centric liturgical design. The Folk Arts Theater Tanghalang Francisco Balagtas has a massive free-span roof with minimal vertical support, emphasis on drama and regia in concrete. It was built for the 1974 Miss Universe pageant, seats 10,000 people, and considered the largest single-span structure in the country, with a 100 by 100 meter. 330 feet by 330 feet, roof resting on 8 monumental columns. The Istana Nurul Iman is the official residence of the Sultan of Brunei, one of the world's largest royal residences. Design is a fusion of Islamic architectural motifs with tropical modernism. The Ninoy Aquino International Airport Terminal 1, NAIA, has utilitarian layout, with Locsin's signature modular concrete detailing. It is an example of Philippine modernist brutalism infused with Locsin's signature floating volume and vernacular-inspired design. The Makati Stock Exchange building boasts large-scale, monolithic concrete forms, thick slabs, and repetitive geometric motifs typical of brutalism. The rectilinear, international-style massing is softened by rhythmic sunshades.
His other notable projects include the following: National Arts Center, St. Andrew the Apostle Church, Church of Monastery of the Transfiguration in Malabale, Bukidnon, the Osaka Expo 70 Philippine Pavilion, and the demolished Benguet Center Banco de Oro. He also designed the Nutrition Center of the Philippines, Sofitel Philippine Plaza Hotel, Hyatt Regency Hotel, the Old Davao International Airport, and renovation of Manila Hotel. He also designed Dioscoro Umali Hall in UP Los Baños, PLDT Ramon Cojuangco Building, BDO Towers Valero, the former Citibank Center, the demolished BDO Corporate Center buildings formerly PCI Bank, Napacor Building, and the LV Locsin Building. Other notable projects include the demolished Makati Greenbelt 1, the demolished Monterey Apartments, the demolished Mandarin Oriental, the demolished Ayala Museum, and the Valley Verde Country Club.
His famous quotes are the following. I have built my philosophy on the belief that modern architecture has to be true to itself, clean, strong, and simple, yet must be adapted to the Filipino psyche and lifestyle. I believe that the Filipino can build as well as he can dance or sing. Architecture is the art of space. It is the frame for life to happen. Creating architecture that is both modern and undeniably Filipino. The strength of architecture lies in its silence.
The fourth awardee for National Artist for Architecture is Ildefonso P. Santos Jr.
He was awarded in 2006. Ildefonso P. Santos Jr. is considered the father of Philippine landscape architecture and advocated for climate-responsive, sustainable, and people-centered open spaces. He was deeply influenced by traditional Filipino spaces like the Plaza Complex, Bahay na Bato courtyards, and Balay landscapes in the provinces.
For the Paco Park in Manila, he transformed a former cemetery into tranquil and romantic park, celebrated for its circular design and cultural performances. For Burnham Park in Baguio, he introduced a more tropical and Filipino landscape sensibility, with local vegetation, shaded walkways, and user-focused zones. For the San Miguel Corporation headquarters, he softened the structure with a lush tropical landscape which served both aesthetic and environmental purposes, cooling the building surroundings and humanizing the corporate environment. At the Tagaytay Highlands Resort, he showcased his mastery in blending natural terrain, climate responsiveness, and Filipino cultural aesthetics into cohesive and luxurious leisure environment.
Quotes attributed to him are as follows. Landscape architecture is not just gardening, it is the art of shaping space through nature. The Filipino spirit must be reflected not only in our buildings, but in the landscapes that surround them. A building should sit gently on the land, and the land should embrace it.
The fifth awardee for National Artist for Architecture is Jose Maria V. Zaragoza.
He was awarded in 2014. Jose Maria Valles Zaragoza's name is synonymous to modern ecclesiastical architecture. His work bridges the gap between European-inspired modernism and Filipino spiritual and cultural identity.
The Santo Domingo Church is a landmark of modern Filipino ecclesiastical architecture. The design embraced the international style, featuring clean lines, minimal ornamentation, and monumental concrete forms. It is famous for its 9 large murals inside by national artist Carlos Botong Francisco, which depict the life of the Virgin Mary. The Meralco building in Ortigas marked a shift from neoclassical and colonial design to an international, forward-looking corporate identity. It incorporated sun-shading devices, wide overhangs, and deep-set windows to address the tropical climate, early evidence of passive environmental design in Filipino corporate architecture. The National Shrine of Our Lady of the Miraculous Medal has ornamented concrete surfaces that echo the brutalist modern aesthetic, softened by sacred art and Marian iconography. It features a prominent vertical facade that signals its sacred presence along the busy Sucat Road.
His other notable projects include the following: Our Lady of the Holy Rosary in Tala, St. John Bosco Parish Church, the demolished Union Church, Villa San Miguel Archbishop's Palace, St. Joseph Convent of Perpetual Adoration or Pink Sisters Convent, and the Pope Pius XII Catholic Center. He also did the Commercial Bank and Trust Building, the controversial Quiapo Church expansion, the demolished Green Hills Vera Mall, and the Casino Español de Manila. He also designed the Phil Banking Building in Port Area, the demolished Philippine Banking Corporation Building in Makati, San Beda Convent, Zaragoza Building in Makati, and he also collaborated with Hexagon Architects for the design of the National Library.
His dictums and philosophies include the following. Modernity and tradition are not enemies in design, they can worship together. To build is to express faith in God, in people, and in the future. As church must lift the spirit, not just enclose the faithful. Architecture must express our faith, our culture, and our time. We must give shape to our faith through the language of architecture.
The sixth awardee for National Artist for Architecture is Francisco T. Mañosa.
He was awarded in 2018. Francisco Bobby Mañosa is known for his advocacy of promoting and upholding Filipino architecture, incorporating indigenous designs and local materials like coconut and bamboo. He popularized the neo-vernacular style, which adapts native Filipino forms like the Bahay Kubo into modern architecture.
The Coconut Palace, Tahanang Pilipino, is a building known for its concept of the coconut as the ultimate tree of life. The floor is shaped like an octagon, a nod to the incidental shape created around the shell when serving buko juice directly from the coconut. The roof is shaped like salakot, a hat made from old coconut palms, and the columns are shaped exactly like how the coconut tree would look like. The Piro Farm Beach Resort's architecture is adapted from the traditional stilt houses of local tribes in Mindanao. Building designs use double-skin bamboo facades, high ventilation, and raised floors that respond to the tropics while minimizing environmental impact. The structures are crafted with bamboo, coconut, rattan, yakal, stone, coral, and abaca. The Amanpulo Resort showcases a Philippine new vernacular architectural style. The design emphasizes the use of natural materials like bamboo, cane, and local hardwoods, drawing inspiration from the traditional Bahay Kubo Filipino nipa hut. The San Miguel Corporation building is known for its use of edible gardens and tukod inwardly slanting windows. The building's step, trapezoidal form was directly inspired by the iconic Banao rice terraces in Ifugao, evoking a modern interpretation of ancient Filipino agrarian landscapes. The angled canopies and sloped windows minimize solar heat gain and optimize daylight.
His other notable projects include the following: Lanao del Norte Capitol Building, EDSA Shrine, Mary Mother of God Parish in Muntinlupa, restoration of St. Joseph Church, Los Piñas Church, Mary Immaculate Parish, Nature's Church, and the Light Rail Transit Line LRT 1 stations.
His famous dictums are as follows. I design Filipino, nothing else. Architecture must respond to local conditions. There is no such thing as a Filipino architecture if it does not reflect the Filipino soul. We are a tropical country. We are rebuilding as if we were in New York or Paris. The dream is to make every Filipino proud of our heritage through architecture.
Thank you for watching.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share.
If you want a more comprehensive review for the board exams, just scan the QR code here to know more about Atlas CDC Review. Watch out for my succeeding videos. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share.
Enroll at Atlas CDC Review for a comprehensive prep for the Architecture Board exams. Message us now.